Hello students. In the previous session, we discussed about the definition of resource, the types of resources, the various categories of resources. Today, we will discuss about resource development. We will discuss more about resources. As we have already discussed, resources are vital sources for human survival and quality life. That is why humans require resources for a good life. But because of indiscriminate use by human beings, resources have been harmed, and the indiscriminate use of resources has led to the depletion of resources, and it has also led to the accumulation of resources in the hands of a few people, and the excessive exploitation of resources has led to various ecological problems like the depletion of ozone layer, global warming, environmental degradation, etc. So, for utilize, it has come to the notice of human beings that it is very essential for equitable distribution of resources to enable a sustained life. And so leaders all over the world have realized that it is very necessary to achieve sustainable development. Now, what do you mean? What do we understand by sustainable development? Sustainable development means that development should take place without damage to the environment. And development should take place in such a way that the need of the future generation should not be compromised in the name of development. In 1992, the first Earth Summit was held in Rio de Janeiro in Brazil, which was attended by more than 100 heads of states. These 100 heads of states took a resolution and adopted the Agenda 21, that all the countries should adopt policies to attain sustainable development in the 21st century and to fight environmental damage, poverty, disease through cooperation for the welfare of all. That is why resource planning is a very important element for the development of resources. For countries like India, which has continental size with a huge population, resource planning is a more important requirement for development of resources. But resource planning for a huge country like India is not an easy task. It is a very complicated process. Resource planning involves various steps. One important feature of resource planning is identification of resource and inventory of resources, which involves surveying of resources, then mapping of resources, qualitative and quantitative estimation and measurement of resources. It also involves evolving a planning structure. That means a proper plan is required for resource planning. So, there should be resource planning, resource planning structure involves appropriate technology to develop the resources, skills of the people, then even the institutional setup for resource development planning. Besides that, it also requires matching resource development plans with the overall national development plan. Now, resource development plan should tally with the national development plan. So that is why the leaders of India, even from the time of independence, have been emphasizing on proper resource planning. Since the time the first 5-year plan was implemented in 1950, it has been the goals of the leaders of the country to adopt proper resource planning for resource development. Because, yes, resources are very important for the development of a country. Resources contributes to the development of country, but when it is not accompanied by appropriate technology and institutional changes, the policies, the plans adopted will not benefit the people of the country as a whole, but it will be for the benefit of a handful. That is why Mahatma Gandhi had clearly mentioned that there is enough for everyone, but not enough for the greed of everyone. Mahatma Gandhi, he emphasized on production by the mass rather than mass production with the use of technology, because mass production with use of modern technology will benefit only the capitalists, and the poor common people will remain poor. एक बार ब्रेक लो ना कि जय श्री land resource is the most important resource. Why? Because all human activities are done on land. Natural vegetation, wildlife, human life, economic activities, transport and communication, all human activities are performed on land. That is why land resource is very important. Land is utilized in various ways. Some of the ways in which land utilization occurs is some land are used as forest. Some of the land areas are used as forests. Then some lands cannot be cultivated, so they come under land not available for cultivation. Then some land are unfit for cultivation because of lack of fertility. They come under other uncultivable land. Then there are some land areas which are left uncultivated. These areas are known as fallow land. Then we have the net sown land. So these are some of the categories in which land utilization is brought. Then According to the relief feature, land can be classified into plains. So plain lands in India constitute 43%. Then we have mountains, which constitute 30%. Then there are plateaus, which constitute 27%. So these are the various categories in which land can be classified and land utilization can be classified. The continuous use of land over a long period leads to land degradation. Land degradation is caused by various factors. One important factor of land degradation is by running water and wind. Soil erosion takes place because of running water. Because of the running water carries away the topsoil, causing soil erosion, leading to land degradation. Then another cause of land degradation is because of waste materials from the industries being dumped on land. Land becomes unusable, but land becomes unfit for use. That is the second factor that causes land degradation. Then the third cause is because of overgrazing. Grasslands becomes unfit for cultivation because of overgrazing. When the grass, which holds the soil to the earth, is removed because of grazing, it causes when the topsoil is carried away easily by other forces of nature, leading to land degradation. Then, because of grindings of limestone dust, which when limestone in the cement factories, it leads to production of dust, and it gets deposited in the surroundings, and it causes land degradation. Then another factor of land degradation is extensive mining and quarrying leaves behind huge empty places, which becomes unfit for huge. Yes. I see. Mining and quarrying is another factor of land degradation. Because of mining, huge pits are left behind, which makes the land unfit for use. Then another factor of land degradation is over irrigation, which leads to large deposit of salt. It makes the land unfit for cultivation. So these are some important factors of land degradation. Land degradation can be prevented by various ways. Some measures through which land degradation can be prevented is, number one is through afforestation. When huge area of forest is cleared, the decrease in the area of forest can be prevented by plantation of new trees, which is also known as afforestation. Then another method of preventing land degradation is through management of grazing grounds by control of overgrazing. Then the third measure for controlling land degradation is by planting of shelter belts of plants to prevent wind from carrying away the soil. Then the fourth measure for prevention of land degradation is through growing of thorny bushes in the desert. Then another way of preventing land degradation is through management of wastelands, which wastelands can be managed so that it becomes cultivable. Another measure is through control of mining, and one more measure is to manage disposal of industrial waste so that industrial waste can be properly treated and disposed in a proper manner so that when it does not harm or it causes minimum harm to land. Then finally, one measure for preventing land degradation is to stop over irrigation and develop better means of irrigation and better methods of irrigation to prevent the soil from getting degraded. So these are some measures for preventing land degradation. So as we have been discussing about land, yes, one important land resource is soil. Soil is considered as the most important renewable natural resource. Soil is the upper layer of the earth's crust, which is loose, broken, and useful for plants and different types of living organisms. There are various factors which causes the formation of soil. Some of the important factors that causes the formation of soil are forces of nature like temperature, running water, wind, glaciers. These are some of the important forces of nature that leads to the formation of soil. So, the quality and the nature of soil is not same everywhere. So on the basis of the factors responsible for its formation, the color of the soil, the thickness and the texture, the age of the soil, the chemical components of the soil, and its physical properties, soil can be classified into different types. The soil in India can be classified into the following categories. The first type of soil is alluvial soil. Alluvial soil is the most fertile soil found in the most fertile type of soil found in India, and it is the most widespread soil found in India. Alluvial soil is formed through the deposition of silt called alluvium by rivers. The river water brings down certain soil materials known as silt, and there is a particular type of silt known as alluvium, and so these alluvial soils are formed by alluvium. And so there are two categories or two types of alluvial soil. One is known as the khaddar soil or the new alluvial soil, and the other is the old alluvial soil, which is also known as Bangar. The Khadar category of alluvial soil is the more fertile type of soil, and it is suitable for growing sugarcane, rice, wheat, and pulses. The second type of soil is known as black soil, or it is also known as the Reger soil because of the presence of Reger. Black soil has a special feature of holding moisture for a long time. Black soil is formed by the weathering of volcanic rocks, and black soil is suitable for cultivation of cotton. The third type of soil is red soil. Because of its red color, due to the presence of iron ore, this soil is known as red soil, and red soil is formed through the weathering of crystalline igneous rocks under low rainfall. Then the fourth type of soil is laterite soil. The term laterite soil has been derived from the Latin word later, which means brick, and laterite soil is formed through intense leaching by tropical rainfall. Laterite soil is cultivable by using manure and fertilizer, and laterite soil is suitable for the cultivation of coffee. Then the next type of soil is arid soil. Arid soil is sandy in nature. It is the soil found in the desert. Arid soil can be cultivated after irrigation. Then the last type of soil is forest soil, which is found in the hills and mountains. So these are the different types of soil found in India. The next topic is about soil erosion. Soil erosion is the denudation of soil cover and its subsequent washing down. In nature, soil erosion and soil formation go simultaneously and generally in a balanced manner, because the force of nature helps in the formation of soil on one side, and the force of nature also contributes to the erosion of soil. So, along with the erosion of soil, formation of soil also takes place. So it goes in a balanced manner. But this balance is disturbed by certain factors, like mainly human activities like deforestation, overgrazing, construction, mining. These are some activities these are some human activities that leads to an imbalance, or that causes an imbalance in the formation and erosion of soil. The force of nature, like as I have said, like wind, glacier, and running water, causes both soil erosion and soil formation at the same time. So, there is a balance, but because of human activities, this balance is disturbed. Yes, running water causes soil erosion, and running water cuts through soft soil, clayey soil, and creates deep channels known as gullies. When running water cuts through clayey soils and form many gullies, this areas becomes unfit for cultivation, and this kind of area is known as backland. And sometimes water flows down over a large slope in the form of a sheet and washes away the soil. This kind of soil erosion through water flowing down in a large sheet over a slope is known as sheet erosion. Soil erosion is usually, the cause of soil erosion is mainly because of defective farming methods. Soil erosion can be prevented or reduced through proper methods of farming. So some of the measures through which soil erosion can be prevented or reduced are contour plowing, another method is through terrace cultivation, and one more method for prevention of soil erosion is strip cropping. Then the last measure through which soil erosion can be prevented is by creating shelter belts, that is by planting trees to prevent wind from carrying away water, carrying away soil. So these are some preventive measures for soil erosion. So in this session, we have discussed about development of resources. We have discussed about resource planning. We have discussed about land as a resource. We have discussed about land use patterns in India. We have discussed about land degradation and measures for conservation of land. We have discussed about soil and the classification of soil, the types of soil available in India. We have discussed about the causes of soil erosion, and we have discussed about measures for preventing soil erosion. So with this, I'm ending this session. Take care of yourself. Stay safe. Thank you.